There comes a time in life when we stop pretending. When the noise fades, the applause quiets down, and we are left staring at our own reflection, not the filtered one we show the world, but the raw, tired, honest version of ourselves. Maybe you're in that moment now. Maybe you've been walking through days that feel numb, dry, lifeless. Maybe you've been holding on to promises that feel like they were spoken to someone else. You've prayed, you've tried, but deep down you wonder, where is God? Where is the life I was meant to live? And in that question lies the beginning of transformation, because what you are truly craving is not a change in your circumstances, but a resurrection of your soul. You see, we've been taught to chase results, to fix things, to perform, to impress, to be strong even when we're crumbling inside. But the truth is, strength that is not rooted in divine presence will always crack under pressure. God never asked you to be impressive. He simply asks for access. Because the breakthrough you seek will never come from effort alone. It comes when the presence of the living God fills the empty places inside you. And let me be clear, this is not just religion. This is not theology for scholars or mystery for mystics. This is real. He is real. The one who formed galaxies now desires to live in you, not just to visit during worship or prayer, but to take residence, to become your constant, your anchor, your breath. This moment is not about earning God's love. It's about letting Him in. He doesn't force His way through your walls. He doesn't rush past your pain. He waits gently until you whisper, "Come." And when you do, He doesn't just enter the tidy rooms of your heart. He walks into the broken ones, the ones you've kept shut for years. The rooms full of shame, silence, fear, and forgotten dreams. And He does something no therapist, no mentor, no plan could ever do. He fills those spaces with light. He doesn't condemn you for the mess. He redeems it. He doesn't ask you to clean yourself up. He says, just open the door. And this is where healing begins. Not where you impress Him, but where you surrender to Him. Maybe you've built walls, not because you're rebellious, but because you've been wounded. Maybe religion has disappointed you. Maybe life has beaten you down. But He sees it all, and He still wants in. The presence of God isn't scared of your trauma, your questions, or your silence. He doesn't need you to shout or dance or perform. He needs your yes. And when you say it, when you open even a crack of your soul, He moves. Sometimes as fire, sometimes as stillness, sometimes as tears you didn't even know were buried. But make no mistake, He is moving. You don't need to feel something dramatic to be changed. Transformation is not about emotion, it's about communion. It's about Him being with you in your ordinary life, in your daily struggles, in the moments where anxiety creeps in, where fear tries to grip you, where shame whispers lies. His Spirit is not near you, He is in you. And His mission is not to make you more religious, but to make you whole, to rewire your thinking, to soften your heart, to remind you that you are not abandoned, not forgotten, not broken beyond repair. The greatest miracle isn't when something happens around you. It's when something comes alive inside you. And this is the miracle He offers. Not a visit, but a dwelling. Not a moment, but a movement. He wants to fill the same places fear once dominated. He wants to bring light into the corners you hid from. He wants to rewrite the narrative that says you are not enough. Because you are enough, not because of your efforts, but because He is in you. The Spirit of God is not reserved for the spiritual elite. He's for you, right here, right now. He is the one who turns silence into peace, fear into fire, wounds into wisdom. So take this moment and breathe. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to carry all the weight. You just need to open the door. Let go of the performance. Let go of the pressure. Just say, come. Let Him in, not just into your Sundays, but into your Mondays, into your depression, into your disappointment, into the questions you don't dare speak. And in that sacred surrender, you'll find what you've been missing all along. Not just peace, but presence. Not just direction, but communion. This is not emotional hype. This is holy reality. The Spirit is not an occasional guest. He is the permanent resident for those who say yes. And once he's inside, you will change. Slowly, deeply, authentically. You'll begin to feel different, think different, respond different. Not because you're trying harder, but because you're finally rooted in someone stronger. You look back one day and realize that anxiety didn't define you, that shame lost its grip, that loneliness became a doorway to intimacy with God. So I say to you today, stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop waiting for a sign in the sky. The invitation is already here. Your heart is his home. Your brokenness is not a disqualification. It's the very place he begins. Say yes. Say come. Let him transform the rooms that have been locked for too long. Let the presence of the living God breathe again in your soul. Not for a moment, but for a lifetime. There comes a moment when you stop living for applause and start living from a deeper place. A place where peace isn't dependent on outcomes and confidence isn't built on what others think. You realize that true transformation doesn't come from trying harder, but from surrendering deeper. This is not a self-help journey. This is not about fixing yourself. This is about letting God fill you so completely that everything false begins to fall away. You've tried strategy. You've tried hustle. You've tried numbing, running, pretending. But now, you're being invited to something different, something holy, something powerful. A life not driven by pressure, but by presence. And that transformation, real, lasting, soul-level change, doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers. It happens in quiet moments when you say, God, I can't do this anymore. And instead of disappointment, he meets you with fire. Not fire that burns you down, but fire that burns away everything that's not truly you. His Spirit doesn't just tweak your habits. He rewires your identity. The thoughts that kept you stuck begin to lose their power. The lies you believed for years about your worth, your future, your purpose start to crumble. Not because of a self-esteem boost, but because truth is replacing falsehood, one breath at a time. He reaches into the places you thought were too dark. He brings up memories, not to torment you, but to heal you. He reminds you, you're not defined by what happened to you. You're defined by what I'm doing in you. You're not too late. You're not too broken. The pain you thought would crush you is actually the place where your power is being born. The pressure you hated is now producing oil, anointing that will mark your future. And that's not poetic talk. That's heaven's reality. The same Spirit that raised Jesus is now working inside you. Quietly, steadily, powerfully. It's not always dramatic. Sometimes you'll just notice that peace has replaced panic. That joy shows up in places where sadness used to live rent-free. You might find yourself responding with calm when you used to explode. You might find a boldness rising up in you that surprises even you. Don't ignore it. That's not luck. That's not maturity. That's the Spirit. He's not improving your behavior. He's resurrecting your identity. You're not becoming a better version of who the world told you to be. You're becoming who God always said you were. And yes, gifts will start flowing. You'll pray differently, not just with words, but with authority. You'll see things before they happen. You'll speak life into people who've only known despair. You'll carry peace into places full of chaos. These gifts are not rewards for good behavior. They are evidence that heaven is flowing through you. But remember, the greatest gift isn't what God does through you. It's who He is to you. He is your comforter when grief won't let go. He is your advocate when you don't have the strength to speak. He is your teacher when you feel lost. He is your fire when your passion fades. He is your wind when life has you stuck. And He's always leading you, not away from truth, but deeper into it. Not into isolation, but into intimacy. His voice may sound like a nudge, a whisper, a moment of clarity you can't explain. Trust it. Trust the peace that follows when you say yes, even when it costs your comfort. Because every time you obey, something eternal shifts. Something holy moves. This isn't just an encounter. It's the beginning of communion. You don't chase a feeling. You stay aware of who lives in you. Because he doesn't leave when the music stops. He doesn't disappear when the emotions fade. He stays. And he keeps pouring, filling, healing, rebuilding. The more you yield, the more he fills. And the more he fills, the more you change. Not into someone else, but into someone whole, someone real. You start walking not in fear, but in fire. Not with pride, but with presence. The lies that once defined you lose their grip. The wounds that once paralyzed you now become markers of breakthrough. Your past becomes proof of your preparation. Everything the enemy tried to use against you becomes fuel for your assignment. You're not returning to what was. You're stepping into what is. This is not the end of healing. It's the launch of your purpose. You've walked through fire, but you were not consumed. You've been pressed, but you were not destroyed. Why? Because God never left you. And now what was broken is being rebuilt stronger. What was painful is becoming powerful. You're not walking wounded, you're walking anointed. So walk boldly, not because of pride, but because you know who walks with you. The God who chose you. The God who still believes in you. The God who lives inside of you. This is your awakening. This is your alignment. You're not behind. You're being positioned. The shift has already begun. Just keep walking. Keep surrendering. Keep showing up to this space, not to perform, but to stay connected. Because he's not done. He always has more. And this time, you're ready.